We introduce to you True Nation Praise Ensemble. AV, can we take out the aux cord?
Check.
Check.
AV.
Come on, y'all. Y'all stand on y'all feet and give the Most High some praise. Shout out. Shout out to the Most High. Give him some praise. He brought us to another week. We here standing before each other, gathering together as one, as Israel. So y'all know how we do things around here. So we need y'all to stand on y'all feet because we're going to give the Most High some praise before we open up his word. Y'all know how we do. Y'all ready? All right, AV, I might need some volume. Just a little bit more volume. There you go. Hey! Come on, y'all. Put y'all hands together.
Singing praises to the King, for he is the King of Kings. Sing the praises to the King, for he is the King of Kings. Sing the praises to the King, for he is the King of Kings. Sing the praises to the King, for he is the King of Kings. Give him glory, for he is the King of Kings. Give him glory, for he is the King of Kings. Give him glory, for he is the King of Kings. Give him glory, for he is the King of Kings.
Come on. Singing praises to the King.
Come on.
For he is the King of Kings. Sing the praises to the King. For he is the King of Kings. Sing the praises to the King. For he is the King of Kings. Sing the praises to the King. For he is the King of Kings.
Give him glory, for he is the King of Kings. Give him glory, for he is the King of Kings. Give him glory, for he is the King of Kings. Give him glory, for he is the King of Kings. Give him glory, for he is the King of Kings. Give him glory, for he is the King of Kings. Give him glory, for he is the King of Kings. Give him glory, for he is the King of Kings.
Y'all do y'all two-step. Hey. Let me see y'all cha-cha. Everybody now.
All praise all praise
Come on, let me hear y'all sing it for us. All praise.
all praise all praise He reigns forever. He reigns forever. He reigns forever and evermore. He reigns forever. He reigns forever. He reigns forever and evermore.
He reigns forever.
Come on.
He reigns forever. He reigns forever and evermore.
He reigns forever. He reigns forever. He reigns forever and evermore. He reigns forever.
Let me hear y'all out
He
there.
reigns forever. He reigns forever and evermore. He reigns forever. He reigns forever. He reigns forever and evermore. He reigns forever. He reigns forever. He reigns forever and evermore. All praise Yahweh.
Woo! Kwam Yasharah! Kwam Yasharah! That's what I'm talking about, you nation. All right, y'all good.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. That's right. How y'all doing? All praise be to the Most High. Who we got in the house? Got the house of Daniel back in the house. Was good. Most High took him and brought him back safely. All praise be to the Most High. Got the house of Jedediah in the house. Was good, huh? Yeah, all praise be to the Most High. Got a whole lot. Do we got anybody new up in here? Any visitors? I had seen one. Hold on, where'd she go? I seen her a minute ago. Okay, she in the back. All praise be to the Most High. Good to have her here. See a lot of the OGs up in here. Some of the OGs back. It's good to see you. All praise be to the Most High. Yeah. Shalom. Good to see you. Who else up in the house? All praise be to the Most High. Man, it's just a pleasure to see each and every one of y'all. Y'all ready for the lesson today? Oh man, all praise. It's a pleasure to be seen. All praise be to the Most High. Could easily not be here, so I always try to remember that. Let's get into it. Put up the PowerPoint, Doc. Y'all familiar with these? The title of today's lesson: Unleash the Poodle. How many poodles we got in the house right now? I'll explain what a poodle is. All right, you can just keep that image up there. All right. Here's the thing. What's going on with you, Wack? Here's the thing. When you think of a man, right? Right? Yes. Usually, I'm hoping that you think of something that's masculine and not feminine, right? Yes. Right? Yes. I know in this day and age, we got a whole bunch of feminine men as well, right? If you think of an animal that you would liken unto a man, what animals would you choose? A lion. A lion, definitely. When you're talking about a godly man, you're talking about a man of Israel. Usually we think of a lion. What are some of the other animals that you might choose to portray a man? Go ahead.
A pig for Esau.
A pig for, okay, that's even fair. A pig for Esau, something that's disgusting and vile. Okay. Any other animals that you guys would choose? A what? I heard a bear, a gorilla, a what? A what? A bull. Okay. All of these happen to be what? Soft animals? Strong animals, right? Strong, vicious. That's what you normally would think of, right? And if you were to think about a dog in regards to that dog having some type of correlation with a man, then you'd probably think of what type of dog? First one, pit bull, right? We don't necessarily want to be called dogs, right? But if we are to be likened into a dog, say we dog lovers, we usually choose something like a pit bull or a Rottweiler or German Shepherd or something like that. How many of y'all choose poodle? Why not? Well, my brother got bit by a poodle years ago, and it lit his finger up. They bite pretty hard, but why wouldn't you want to be a poodle? Keep that picture on the screen. I'm gonna tell you why most men don't want to be poodles. Because poodles have a reputation for being soft, cuddly. They have a reputation for being what? Not a man's best friend, but a what? A woman's best friend. When you see the dogs in, television, when you see it on movies, when you see it in cartoons, how do they depict the poodle? That's an excellent word, very flamboyant, like you see right here, right? You can tell that the poodle was all cut up. His hair didn't grow like that. And one thing that I learned, the poodle actually doesn't have fur. The poodle actually has hair. That's maybe one of the reasons why they like the poodle so much. I don't know. But then they take this poodle and look what they make this. You see his male member right there. But does he look like a dog that you would fear? Does he look like a dog that you would take serious? Why they do him like this? Go to the next slide. I got a question. Hey, what role do you play in your marriage, men? Huh? What role do you really play in your marriage? We're going to talk about it today. See, some fun, interesting facts about the poodle. The poodle has a certain temperament, all right? He's known for being an intelligent dog. He's an alert dog. He's an active dog, instinctual, but these two right here really say it all. The poodle is known for being a faithful dog, but he's usually faithful or depicted as being faithful to what type of owner? Female owner, right? See, with the poodle, the poodle can also have a male owner and be faithful to his male owner. But the poodle is definitely one way or another gonna be faithful. Sometimes people get into situations and, they kind of align themselves, or someone chooses them to be, I don't know, somewhat of a friend. I'll be nice. I don't want to say pet. They'll choose you to be a good friend, and you're loyal. So I'm not mad at you that you're loyal. I'm not mad at poodles for being loyal. I get a little bit upset and frustrated when your loyalty is in the wrong place. Another thing about their temperament is that they're very, very trainable. Domesticated, very trainable. So they have competitions and, they use poodles to model all the time and all those types of things. They beautify them. Those are some interesting facts about the poodle. It says that they make wonderful family pets. There's usually mainly 3, but it's actually 4 types, because sometimes they don't consider what they call, I think, the medium poodle to be as mainstream as the other 3. You got what's called a standard poodle. I think the poodle that we saw would be considered to be a standard poodle. They're pretty tall, right? You got some standard poodles in Israel. You also have, like I said, you got the medium poodle. They're like, decent size. They're not the tallest, but they're definitely not the smallest, right? Then you have what they call a miniature poodle. You got some miniature poodles. Some of them be on the street corners. And then you have what's even smaller than a miniature poodle. You got what's called a toy poodle. Women, when you were in the world, did you like poodles? Be honest. Some women say, yeah. All praises. Thank you for being honest. Hopefully now that you're in this truth, you don't want a poodle. You don't want a man that you can run and he running errands with you and you got him on a leash. Oh, you They said, skirt! Hold up. Oh, man. Okay, all right. Well, let's retract that. Here's the thing. You also find them very smart and affectionate. You got a lot of affectionate brothers. You should be affectionate. But sometimes you can be a little overly affectionate. And you can be affectionate at a time where you don't need to be affectionate, right? Poodles are seen as feminine dogs. That's a fact. It says they could easily get attached to one person only. So that's another fun fact about poodles. Poodles are usually seen as a house dog. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing? What's going on, Doc? Poodles are usually seen as a house dog. And we know according to the Bible that the house is whose domain? The woman's domain. Even though the man is the authoritative figure, the Bible talks about the woman keeping the house. That's her domain. She's the one that makes sure that things are tip-top shape, so on and so forth. So if you put yourself in a position to be a house dog, we know that the dog is supposed to be what? He's supposed to be subservient to his owner, right? To his master. That puts us in a little bit of a predicament. Go to the next slide real quick. Does this look familiar to any of y'all? This is a dysfunctional relationship. But believe it or not, this is a whole lot of people's relationship. That old school, some of y'all too young to know about that first little picture right there. Who that in the picture? Who? Silly and who else? You done forgot his name, look. Huh? Mister. If you, well, nah, probably not these, because it's cool. Because they could also see it over there. So you got the infamous scene with Silly threatening Mister. You got this popping off right here. He trying to explain himself. And she letting him know, look, it's all your fault. Then you got her right there. She said, you know what, I'm over it. Shut up. I'm done. How respectful is that? Now, I'm hoping that there are not a lot of our relationships in here that look like this. I know some of us, we once upon a time had relationships that did look like this. Because you got to tell the truth and shame the devil, right? Raise your hand if you've been a part of one of these relationships before. Let me see how many of y'all going to tell the truth on the Sabbath. Quite a few of us, right? Here's the thing. In righteousness, is this what the relationship of a godly man and a godly woman is supposed to look like? Not at all. Go to the next slide, please. See, here's the thing. When you look in the mirror, is this what you see? Men? It's sad because you believe it. And I see some Israelite men, they be in the streets crying out loud. But when they go home, they be wagging their tails. It's true. They'll sit up here, they'll be ready to cut a brother up. But as soon as they go home, the whip getting cracked. This ain't what an Israelite man is supposed to be doing. This ain't what he's supposed to see when he look in the mirror. Go to the next slide, please. Is that a lion? Yeah, see, a lot of brothers at a glance, they look like they lions. But tell them to stand up. Tell them to jump into action, and you'll see that the mane just is, the mane looks good. The presentation looks good. But that ain't a lion right there. That ain't a lion. Go to the next slide, please. Is this what masculinity looks like? Because you got some, they ready to bark at other brothers, ready to bark at people, ready to cut your throat off. Curse you out. Marking their territory everywhere they go. Shabbat Shalom, how y'all doing? Be ready to cut your throat and mark their territory. But is that really what masculinity looks like? A lot of times we get fooled. We get fooled by the appearance. We get fooled based off of what we see at first. We get fooled when we see them showing teeth. We get fooled when they marking their territory, right? But that ain't necessarily what masculinity looks like. A lot of that is emotional. It's the opposite of masculinity. You're talking about femininity. Let me tell you something real quick. An effeminate man is not always a man dressed
in something that looks like what a woman should wear. That's not always what the definition of what effeminate is. Being emotional doesn't always mean crying. An emotional person is a person that gets upset over the silliest things and they don't think before they react. That's effeminate. It's a whole lot of people that will blow your brains out at the drop of a hat, and they don't realize that they're effeminate. So this is not what masculinity looks like. There's a time and a place to do these things, but this isn't the mark of masculinity. And I see a lot of men in Israel, they'll do this in front of the whole Facebook and Instagram world, but you know some of them, and you see them in a real situations, and when they going home, you know, they being handled and primmed and cut and all of that, and, you know, rubbed on the belly, told to go to the doghouse. Go ahead. Question. Do you have to ask, I'm talking to you men, do you have to ask for permission to go and have a good time with your boys? Now, I'm going to make sure everything is clear. You may have a situation where you have a wife who is a wife, a godly wife, a wife of wisdom, and there may be things that you guys collectively have going on, right? Where you saying, okay, just on the business tip, is everything handled? Okay, cool. Good. All right, I'm going to head on out. I'm not talking about that. But on any given day, for you to want to go somewhere and literally you got to ask her permission and she might tell you no, oh, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's not how things are supposed to be. Go to the next one. I know somebody ain't going to like this lesson, but somebody going to love it because somebody going to want righteousness. So my question is this right here. Who's in charge of your relationship? The Bible clearly tells us what things should look like in the book of 1 Corinthians, right? Chapter 11. It says, who's at the top? Yahweh's at the top, the Most High, Yah. Then right up under him is who? Yahweh Shai, his son, only begotten son, the king of Israel. Then who's under him? Says the man. The man is under him. Then under the man is who? Okay, so that's clear. And then under the woman is who? Okay, so if that's understood, then why you got a lot of men in Israel and the woman in the relationship is the one that has the leash? And today, make sure you guys understand, we're talking about this contextually. We're not talking about, like I said, pseudo-masculinity, men that take advantage of women and don't do things in righteousness. We're not talking about that. But we're talking about men who are really trying to serve the Most High, and they're in a situation where they're allowing the woman in the relationship, their wife, to put them on a leash and tell them where we going next. See, a lot of times you see that little picture over there, you see her hugged up and smiling, because you see, a lot of us, we take them type of pictures. They'll take you to the mall. Where's that? What mall? At the South Bay Galleria? At the little kiosk, and you take them pictures, you take them family pictures, you be like, man, that's a good looking family. But sometimes even in them pictures, you can tell if you look close that he's a poodle. Right there. All you got to do, take your mind real quick, take a quick second, close your eyes, and imagine the man's head right there. Poodle. Go to the next one. So my thing is, man, with today's lesson, I need y'all that are being poodles, men right now. He's addressing the men. He says, is it not the great king, whoever's ruling? He says, nor multitude of men, neither is it wine. Because somebody said, man, wine is the thing that make men, you know. He said, it ain't wine. He said that excelleth, meaning that's greater, that's the greatest. He says, who is it then that ruleth them, or hath the lordship over them. Read.
Are they not women?
Are they not women? See, a lot of people have things misconstrued. I've heard a lot of foolish things since I've been in this walk. And I've heard a lot of people underestimate women. I've heard brothers underestimate women. And I've heard sisters underestimate themselves, even though all the time, sometimes it's nonsense. Because women intuitively learn at a very early age that they have something special, in most cases. You know, and then they try early on when they little, because I got a daughter. They try early on to see if I do this, will daddy let me go? Will he let me slide? Right? They learn early. The thing is, a lot of people underestimate the power of a woman. Read.
Women have borne the king and all the people that bear rule by the sea and land.
Said all of whether you're talking about the king, whether you're talking about all the great people on land or even in the sea, women, they have mothers. They have mothers. Go ahead.
Even of them came they, and they nourished them up that planted the vineyard, from whence the wine cometh.
He said, and even if you want to talk about wine and farming, because a lot of people will say, man, this is a man's job. Ain't no women. This ain't women's work. This is hard work. This is a man. He said, but didn't that man come from a woman? Didn't that man have a mother? In a lot of cases that was dear to his heart. Go ahead.
These also make garments for men.
A lot of us wouldn't be clothed right now because some of the clothes, especially here in Israel, where we starting to take back our culture and everything ain't just t-shirts, we got garments, and who's the people that actually put together our garments? Right over here. Yeah, I heard that shout out. Look. Go ahead.
These bring glory unto men. And without women cannot men be.
That's a heck of a statement. That's not even a question. Read that one more time, that last little part, because it ain't a question.
Okay. These bring glory unto men, and without women cannot men be.
That's a question. Don't elevate it at the end. Read it one more time for me. I'm giving you a hard time.
Okay.
Just the last part, and without women.
Without women cannot men be.
Still elevating at the end. And without women, men, let me read it from here. And without women cannot men be. In other words, it's saying that we wouldn't be able to do what we do and function how we function without women. We wouldn't even be in existence in how the Most High created things without women. Because you got to have a mother's womb to actually allow you to even develop. You got to have even if you want to say, because some people go as far as to say, I ain't never had a mother. Well, you had a mother at some point. Maybe from the moment that you were born, you weren't fortunate enough to have her touch and her care, but her body instinctively did all that was necessary to bring you into this world, because there's plenty that have not been able to successfully enter into this world. So the fact that you breathe in a day, your mother did something for you. She was a vessel in some shape, form, or fashion. So that's a heavy statement right there when it says without women, men can't be. Go ahead and read.
Yea, and if men have gathered together gold and silver, or any other goodly thing, do they not love women, which is comely in favor and beauty?
Hold on, you got to read that one more time. Yea, go ahead.
And if men have gathered together gold
from the top of 18.
Yea, and if men have gathered together gold and silver.
So you got men that gather gold and silver. They go get the bag, like they say, right? Go get the bag. They got the money. They got the credit. All them good things, right? Read.
Or any other goodly thing. Do they not love a woman which is comely in favor and beauty?
See, the thing is, even with all of these men that's getting all of these things, these men are in love with women. So they get all of these things, and the crazy thing about it is you're limited as to what you can do on your own. But watch this, read.
And letting all those things go, do they not gape and even with open mouth fix their eyes fast on her?
See, you got, and we see it all of the times, you got men who find success monetarily. You have men who are million and even billionaires. And a lot of these men, guess what? As much money as they have, they willing to trick it off. For who? You see brothers spending hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars just to impress who? Go ahead.
And have not all men more desire unto her than unto silver or gold?
That's the crazy thing. As much as men be like, oh, man, I'm getting this money, I'm going to do this, I'm focused. At the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, unless they are homosexual, it's the woman that they trying to bring it back to. They care more for the woman than they care. They only care for those things, really, the way they care for them, so that they can get the woman or the women. Go ahead.
Or any goodly thing whatsoever. Let me keep going.
Uh-huh.
A man leaveth his own father that brought him up, and his own country, and cleaveth unto his wife.
You see that? Bible says a man leave his own father that brought him up and leave his country. Man, you know how cats love their city. Cats love their block. You got cats around here that's willing to die for their block. That ain't something that's new. Because even though we think, oh, hey, man, forget this country. You willing to die for your block. You want to put on for your city, right? Same thing. But the Bible tells you that a man will leave all of that in a heartbeat just to be with who? Just to be with a woman. A woman. Go ahead.
He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife, and remember neither father, nor mother, nor country.
He sticketh not, meaning he don't stay wherever it is that you expect him to stay or he's expected. He's trying to figure out how to make a life with her. Go ahead.
By this also ye must know that women have dominion over you.
Now I got that highlighted specially. Read that part one more time, Mike.
By this also ye must know.
By this, you got to know this, read.
That women have dominion.
That women have what?
Have dominion.
Have what?
Have dominion.
Oh, hold on. That's a big word. How many of y'all know what the word dominion means? Huh? What, Miles? You're a man that's accomplished many things academically. What does the word dominion mean? Say it out loud. Control and dominance. Control, dominance. Give me some more. Authority. Power. Now, y'all like that word. You watch that show. Power. Rulership. Read it one more time.
By this also ye must know that women have dominion over you.
That women have dominion over men. Over you. I know some of y'all looking like, where is he going with this? If you've been living long enough, you know exactly where I'm going. You know where I'm at. But if you're still wet behind the ears and you're probably trying to figure it out. And y'all women over there smirking because you know exactly where I'm going with this. You know exactly where I'm going with this. And for us to sit here, once this is put in our faces and act as if this is not the case, you fooling yourself. You playing games. You're playing games. Go ahead.
Do ye not labor and toil and give and bring to the woman?
And bring all
to the woman?
To the woman. Everything that you work for, that you labor for, sometimes men will spend 10, 20 years building something, and you bringing it all back to who? To her. That's how it works. Go ahead.
Yea, a man taketh his sword and goeth his way to rob and to steal. And
go ahead.
Yea, a man taketh his sword and goeth his way to rob and to steal and to sail up on the sea and up on rivers and looketh up on a lion, and goeth into darkness.
He looketh upon a lion. Because your average, hey, look, you ever been in a situation where you was met with some danger and you was by yourself and you was like, man, I'm not messing with that, and you go the other way? But then a similar situation happens, and now all of a sudden you got your girl with you. Now she there, so now you feel like you gotta, hey, hold on. Can't show no weakness. And that's what it's like. That's what it's like. Go ahead.
And looketh upon the lion, and goeth into darkness. And when he hath stolen, spoiled, and robbed, he bringeth it to his love.
And he take penitentiary chances just to bring it back to you. Some of y'all used to love that thug love. How many of y'all used to date thugs and date gangsters? Raise your hand up high. Don't lie. Yeah, you like that. You used to like that. Go ahead.
Wherefore, a man loveth his wife better than father or mother.
A man's gonna love his wife if unless he's a fool. 9 times out of 10, what you see is at least the attempt for that man to love his wife in a way that he has never loved his father and his mother. There's levels to this. Go ahead.
Yea, many there be that run out of their wits for women.
Run out of their wits. Boy, you could have been the smoothest, the sharpest, most advanced minded, even if you was criminal minded, but then the right woman come along. Oh my God, you just do the dumbest things. It's true, ain't it, man, you look back at some situations and be like, why would I would have never did that. Had you all messed up over her. Clouded your judgment. I know some of y'all young brothers, you don't know. You live long enough. Well, let me take that back, Father. I hope we can be successful at Hope y'all don't have to go through some of the things that a lot of us had to go through, because you might not make it to this point. You got to wise up, y'all, Go ahead.
And became servants for their sakes.
And became who?
Servants for their sakes.
Who became servants for whose sake? Men. So that's the definition of a poodle right there. You're in a relationship. You're there as a servant in regards to being, you know what I'm saying? Because the scripture talks about that. When you're in a position and you're in authority to be a servant, right, to your family and to those that you have been given the privilege of being an authoritative figure over. But there's always a balance to everything, and there's a line not to cross. The thing is, you get a lot of men that cross that line and allow themselves to be totally subservient to their woman. And now things are out of whack because she's the head and he's the tail. She's telling him what to do. Go ahead.
Many also have perished, have erred, and sinned for women.
Have even what?
Sinned for women.
Even sinned for women. Drop down to 32.
O ye men, how can it be but women should be strong, seeing they do thus?
So don't have any question on whether or not women are strong. The Most High gave women strength. You got that? You got that locked in? Watch this real quick. Go to Proverbs chapter 31, verse 1 through 3. Now, this should make more sense when we read this, because you hear this read a lot of times, and I don't think a lot of you guys fully grasp it. So watch this, read.
Proverbs 31, verse 1. The word of the king Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him. The prophecy that his mother taught him. That his
mother taught him. His mother. Because see, a lot of y'all get it misconstrued. A righteous woman with wisdom, that's a dangerous being. dangerous to our enemies. When you got a mother that's on point, that's a beautiful situation. Don't take it for granted that you guys stand in a place as being mothers to these children. You have the ability to tell them what they need to do in life. You're not supposed to just sit back and hope they do the right thing. So watch what this king, what his mother tells him. Read.
She was like, what? My son? And what, my son of my womb? And what, the son of my vows?
Watch this. Read. Oh, keep that same energy. 3.
Give not thy strength unto the woman.
Do what?
Give not thy strength unto women.
So question, I want to ask a woman this. Somebody get a mic over there, please. I need to ask a woman this. The water. Who want to volunteer before I even ask the question? Come on. You must have faith. Oh, okay. Shower shine. Read that one more time for a real quick act.
Like that?
3.
Oh. Give not thy strength unto women.
What is this referring to? Give not thy strength to a woman.
Well, as women, we're supposed to be pillars of rest. So if our husbands are having to battle with us at home, we have the power to either weaken them or build them up.
Okay.
So if they're having to battle us, they can't. How are they supposed to go out and battle? They have spiritual battles, society battles. We have to, be their rest. Otherwise, they're not going to spiritually and mentally be able to do what they're supposed to do.
So what you're saying is true. You giving me more of the micro. What's the macro of this? What is it saying, like, overall?
I mean, the man is the one in control. He's the...
Help her out. Somebody help her out.
He's your head?
Y'all in the right area, but it's something in particular. Go ahead.
His masculinity?
Y'all in the right area, but it's something I want y'all to pull up out that well.
Don't give your power over to the woman. Your mind.
That's what it's saying, but why?
She can make you do wicked things.
So let me help you out. We just read what we read in First Esdras, right? And it talked about the woman, right? All right. So utilizing that, keeping that in mind, why would his mother, and what does she mean when she says, "Give not thy strength unto women"?
I think like you said before, we're like enemies. We can be enemies of ourselves. You know what I mean? So giving your strength into a woman is like giving the power unto a person that's not deemable to have it.
You on the right track. You like, hey, like.
Don't let her be the one to take over. So you give up your strength. Now you're following her.
You're right there. You're right there. Right there.
Don't be her poodle.
Yeah, of course that.
Don't give your strength to the women because she's a weaker vessel, so she can't handle it,
Y'all missing it.
She be abusing her authority. I don't know.
I'm gonna help y'all out real quick. You got one more? Who you want to try, Charleroi? Go ahead. Then I'm gonna tell y'all after this.
Don't let her have rule and authority over you.
You're right there. You're right there. But I'm gonna explain it. First of all, let's figure out what the strength is talking about. Without going to the scripture, some of you guys are familiar with the scriptures, and it talks about Jacob and his sons, and it says that Reuben, which was his first son, was the beginning of his what? Of his strength. That strength represents something in particular. What does that strength represent? His dominion, his authority, his rulership. That's what the strength. So that's what it represents. So when his mother says, "Don't give your strength over," don't give your dominion, your place as a ruler, your God-given right to lead, don't give that over to a woman or women, because that's what she said, because it's a lot of jakes that really run themselves dry because they give it to multiple women. But some jakes just give it all to one woman. So now, again, when she says, give not thy strength unto women, the other thing that you guys were right there on was this. We read in 1 Esdras that the woman is already super powerful. Technically speaking, she's more powerful than the man. The only thing that really causes the man to kind of trump her is the fact that the Most High put the man in place and said, you're the authority. There's just a few things that I'm giving you that I ain't giving her. She's got her function and you got your function. Your function is more suitable to be the head in this situation. So you got some folks that get all bent out of shape because you end up being with a woman that's smarter than you. She feels like she's exalted and talks to you a certain type of way, and you feel kind of like, oh, I don't, she is smarter than me. She does take care of all the business. And all that you got to realize is this one thing. It doesn't matter that she's smarter than you. You're still the one that's been given the right to lead. What good businessman in his right mind wants employees that are incompetent? The richest people in the world go to hire the smartest people that they can find, people that can figure out things that they couldn't possibly figure out on their own, and will pay those minds to come up with solutions to problems and to create things that end up making them even richer. So if that be the case, then what would be the problem in this situation? If you don't want to just go and get a woman that's base and light-minded. You want a woman who's what? Going to be able to bring something to the table. So that's no reason for you to start feeling as if you're less than and you just, well, take it all, babe. You're suitable for the job. You just tell me what you want me to do. The woman has already been made powerful. And that's why some of the times, maybe none of y'all in particular, some of y'all we didn't have conversations. I've had to pull that card and say, hold on, quit playing like you the victim. If you know who you are, know what the Most High created you to be, you are very powerful. You have to be a powerful vessel in order to do the things that you do, to be able to birth children, to carry children, cultivate them, birth them, rear them up. You had to be powerful. Most High didn't make you weak. When he says the weaker vessel, the key word is not weak, it's weaker. That doesn't mean that the Most High made you weak. He just lets it be known that you're supposed to be under the man. But he never said, I made you weak. So what this is saying, the mother is giving them wisdom. She says the women already have more than enough power. Women will get what they want. They'll find a way to get what they want. You make sure you hold yourself down. You hold what you need to hold down. You hold that down. You're in a position to be a king, to be a ruler, and that comes with a whole lot of responsibility. You were made the king for a reason. Y'all ain't hearing me. Go to the book of Ezekiel. Go to the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 19. And we're going to start at verse 1.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 19, verse 1. Moreover, take thou up a lamentation for the princes of Israel, and say, what is thy mother?
What is thy mother? Is your mother a dog? Your mother a bee? Them is fighting words. Look what the Most High likens our mothering to, because we are talking about Israel, right? And more specifically, he said the princes of Israel, which means he's talking about who? He's talking about y'all, the men, right? Read verse 2 from the top.
And say, what is thy mother?
What is she?
A lioness.
A what?
A lioness.
A lioness. I haven't seen any lionesses birthing poodles, puppies. They birth lion cubs. So we shouldn't have any poodles in our nation. Go ahead.
She lay down among lions.
Uh-huh.
She nourished her whelps among young lions.
Among young lions. Go ahead.
And she brought up one of her whelps. It became a young lion.
It became a what?
A young lion.
It became a what?
A young lion.
See, young whelps, a whelp, Aria Gawar literally means whelp. That's a baby lion. Getting ready to hopefully transition into a young lion, a young man. That's what this is talking about. Said that she raised him among lions. If you was raised among lions, then you should have the behavior like that of what? Lions. That's why it's important. That old proverb that says it takes a village, right? Go ahead.
And it learned to catch the prey. It devoured men.
Go ahead.
The nations also heard of him. He was taken in their pit, and they brought him with chains unto the land of Egypt.
So who is this talking about? Can anybody catch that? More specifically. More specifically. Anybody catch it so far? Let's read on. They'll catch it after this one. Go ahead.
Now when she saw that she had waited, and her hope was lost, then she took another of her whelps and made him a young lion.
So now, the first one, right, got taken. Now she said, all right, my other cub, I'm going to make him into a young lion. Read.
And he went up and down among the lions. He became a young lion and learned to catch the prey and devoured men.
Read.
And he knew their desolate palaces, and he laid waste their cities, and the land was desolate, and the fullness thereof by the noise of his roaring.
By the noise of his roaring. Read.
The nations set against him on every side from the provinces, and spread their own net over him. He was taken in their pit.
Go ahead.
And they put him in ward and chains, and brought him to the king of Babylon. They brought him into the holes.
Go ahead.
That his voice should no more be heard upon the mountains of Israel.
So now, who we talking about? Anybody? More specifically. More specifically. Huh? Who? More specifically. Kingdoms. Talking about the two kingdoms of Israel. First he spoke about the northern kingdom. Then he spoke about the southern kingdom. Egypt first. Got ourselves together. Stood as a kingdom. A united kingdom. Then the split happened. Still had the southern kingdom. Right? Southern kingdom ended up getting taken into Babylon. But what are we as a nation? The princes were brought up to be what? Lions. Lions. We got all types of references of dogs, and it never talks about Israel being dogs. It talks about the other nations as dogs, the heathens as dogs. But we were supposed to be what? Lions. How you doing, brother? Indeed. Go from there. Go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19 and verse 2. I just need two.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19, verse 2.
Go ahead.
Wine and women.
Hold on, that's a quotable right there. What?
Wine.
And
women.
And women. Go ahead.
Will make men of understanding.
Men of understanding, read.
To fall away.
To fall away. Make you lose your mind. Make you do something foolish. You can be a person that's known for being wise, known for handling your business, but you mess around and come across the wrong woman, and everything might change. Go ahead.
And he that cleaveth to harlots will become impudent.
Which means shameful. Or shameless, I'm sorry. You'll be shameless. Here's the thing. Women. So many men in our nation are acting like poodles in a relationship. You can take a poodle, right? You can chain a poodle up to a table. And if you got a miniature poodle or a toy poodle, you can chain a poodle up to a chair. What type of leash do you need for a poodle? You can have one of them old fancy ones with the little thing that, the retractable ones. Yeah, you can put them on that and you're good. But can you do that with a lion? See, the problem is the men of Israel are lions, but somebody got you to believe that you was a poodle. So while you sitting up here chained to a chair, imagine how the world looks at you. All of the nations that know who you are when you don't know who you are, and they looking at you laughing their behinds off. Even in regards to how you respond to your enemies. We'll kill each other in a heartbeat. But then let the heathen come by and you tuck and tail. Go from there. Go to the book of Proverbs chapter 26. Proverbs 26, and I need 10 and 11.
Proverbs chapter 26, verse 10. The great Yahweh that formed all things both rewarded the fool and rewarded strangers.
Yeah.
Transgressors.
Even the fools have a reward. Go ahead.
As a dog returneth to his vomit.
As a dog returneth to his vomit. If you don't know anything about dogs, a dog will throw up and he'll go right back to that throw up and he'll do what? Yeah, he'll lick it. He'll begin to try to consume it again. Because in his mind, this is what I consumed already. It didn't stay down for whatever reason. But I'm going to try to eat it again because that's what I ate in the first place. Now, as men, we got enough common sense to say, oh, that's got a lot of stomach acid and that's pretty putrid. It stinks. I don't want that. Let me get away from that throw up. Let me get away from the vomit. But in foolishness, that dog doesn't have the same intellect as a man does. So that dog instinctively goes back to that vomit. Read.
So a fool returneth to his folly.
A fool returns to that same folly. You got men in our nation, even when they're told that that's not the right way of going about handling that in your relationship. You may think it's working for the moment, but long term, it's not going to work out for you. I know it's hard to put your foot down right now and establish what needs to be established, but better now than later on. But you got some men who said, you know what, I hear all of that, but I like this piece that I got right now. I'm not willing to ruffle any feathers, and I'll take my chances. And they continue to have a lot of the issues that they have over the years in their marriages, right? Happy wife, happy life. Somebody told me. Was it you? He said back in the days, that's what they would teach them. Happy wife, happy life. Shania, you had to adjust, huh? She said it was happy wife, happy life. And then all of a sudden the truth came. Changed everything. Boy, she used to be bucking. I love Shania. That's my sister. But I seen her in her early years as an Israelite. And she was bucking. Yes, sir. All praise be to the Most High. All praise be to the Most High. Go from there. Go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 44. Jeremiah, chapter 44. And let's get started at verse 7. Let's get into something real quick.
Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 7. Therefore now thus saith the Lord, the Most High of hosts, the God of Israel. Wherefore commit ye this great evil against your souls, to cut off from you men and women, child and suckling out of Judah,
Go ahead.
to leave you none to remain.
Go ahead.
And that ye provoke me unto wrath with the works of your hands, burning incense unto other gods in the land of Egypt.
So here's the thing. We're going to skip down. Go down to verse 10. All of this wickedness that the people were doing, right? But let's get into it, specifically what they were doing.
They are not humble, even unto this day. Neither
Start at verse 9. Go ahead.
have you forgotten the wickedness of your fathers, and the wickedness of the kings of Judah?
Go ahead.
And the wickedness of their wives.
So hold on. The wickedness of what?
Of their wives.
Of the fathers first. Right? Our forefathers. The Bible talks about that. That's a pivotal in regards to who we need to look at in terms of what they did, their actions to repent. The Bible tells us over and over again that we need to have concern for what our forefathers did, right? So that made sense, the fathers. Then he says in the wickedness of the kings of Judah, talks about that a lot, because they were the ones who did what? We wouldn't be here without our forefathers. And then the kings were the ones that did what? That ruled and made a lot of decisions on behalf of the people, servants to the people. Then after he says kings, he says, and the wickedness of their what? Well, the women normally don't have that much of a say-so in regards to certain aspects of things, especially in terms of things that we need to do on a spiritual level, right or wrong. So why right here, we got the forefathers, we got the kings, and then we jump to the wives? Why? Because the wives were the ones that were what? They were one of the biggest influences. Let's find out what was going on. Read.
And your own wickedness, and the wickedness of your wives, which they have committed in the land of Judah, and in the streets of Jerusalem.
So, the wickedness of our wives, what are we talking about here? Read.
They are not humble, even unto this day. Neither have they feared, nor walked in my law, nor in my statutes that I set before you, before your fathers.
So it's a whole lot of people that should be humble, but for whatever reason, they're not humble, they're not afraid, they're not repentant. Read.
Therefore, thus saith the Most High, the host, the power of Israel. Behold, I will set my face against you for evil and to cut off all of Judah.
Go ahead.
And I will take the remnant of Judah that have set their faces to go into the land of Egypt to sojourn there. And they shall all be consumed and fall in the land of Egypt. They shall even be consumed by the sword and by famine. They shall die from the least even unto the greatest, by the sword and by famine.
So it's a lot going on at your own given time. I want you to read the whole thing. Drop down to verse 15.
Then all the men which knew that their wives had burned incense unto other gods.
Hold on. The men that knew that their what?
Wives burned incense unto other gods.
See, this is the thing. You know, sometimes it's things that are a little bit not as harmful, that are a little less harmless. Like, you might tell your wife, hey, we're spending too much money, and she still go and shop anyway. It's things like that that women do sometimes, right? But then there's some extremes. Not any women up in here per se, all praise be to the Most High. But women tend to still be willful and still try to sneak and do certain things. So this is kind of the same thing that was happening at this time. It says that they was doing what? Read that part one more time.
Verse 15. Then all the men which knew that their wives
men that did what?
Knew that their
They
wives
knew their wives was doing these things. Instead of checking their wives, they said, you know what, all right, man, just do what you got to do over there to make sure nobody see you. I don't want to have no issues with you. Go ahead.
had burned incense unto other gods.
Unto other gods. You think the Heavenly Father was happy with that? And that's the thing. People convince themselves that nobody else sees what you're doing. But the Most High sees what you're doing. Read.
And all the women that stood by, a great multitude, even all the people that dwelt in the land of Egypt, and Pathros answered Jeremiah, saying, as for the word that thou hast spoken.
Listen up. These is everybody, but mainly women. It highlighted the women. This is what the women told the prophet Jeremiah. Read.
As for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of the Lord.
Not just the word that you said, words that come out of your mouth, but the words that you spoke to us in the name of Yahweh. Read.
We will not hearken unto thee, but we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth.
Hold on, you got to stop at that point. You got to stop right there. We will not hearken unto thee. We ain't listening. We ain't gonna do it. Now you can read the next part, 17.
But we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth.
Now we gonna do, but we gonna what?
Goeth forth.
But we gonna what?
Do whatsoever
we will.
thing we will certainly do.
Certainly do. You ain't gotta even worry. You can bet your bottom dollar we gonna certainly, go ahead,
do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth.
Whatever we say. What we say is what we go. This is how it's gonna go down. No shame. Go ahead.
To burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven.
Unto who?
Unto the Queen of Heaven.
See, that's what you thought it was a new thing when they was talking about the black woman as God.
The feminist movement.
Brother Polite. I ain't gonna get too deep into that because I'm not quick to tell people that this brother did anything because that's unlawful. Unless I know for a fact and then I'm not gonna say. But this is what I will say. He got a whole lot of judgment coming to him one way or another as much as he's blasphemed this word. Right? And so many people that love that brother Polite. It's a play on words. P-O, not L-I-T-E, but L-I-G-H-T. And we all know what Po mean, right? Po is just a shorter form of poor. The brother told you what he was about from the jump. He had poor light. You wasn't going to be able to see the truth from the jump. And you got idiots like that sit up here and do the same thing that the Bible warns you of because they got all of this knowledge, this information, but have nothing that can actually speak to your spirit, right? Telling you that the black woman is God. And a whole lot of folks just melt into his hands. Oh, this ain't nothing new. It didn't say nothing about them going to serve any other deity that just happened to be a masculine deity. Now, all of this women involvement. So what do they choose? They choose to serve what? The Queen of Heaven. It's got to be a queen up there. She got to be running something. In my likeness. The Queen of Heaven. Read.
And to pour out drink offering unto her, as we have done, we and our fathers, our kings and our princes, in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then had we plenty of victuals and were well and saw no evil.
So she said, since we've been doing that, everything been good. See, that's the thing. You got to be careful in these households. A lot of women will tell you, well, everything been good. We've been flourishing. Look what we got. Look what cars we got. Look in the house. If he had him in, see, look. Yeah, it's going to be good for right now. Until it all fall apart. Until she get tired of your behind and decide that you got to go because this her house. Come on, y'all. Some of y'all think I'm just talking out of my neck. First of all, ain't no godly woman want a poodle. Don't no godly woman want a man long term that she tells what to do. She tell him jump and he say how high. Don't no godly woman want that. You may think you want that. You don't want that. If anything is going to somehow pull it together for you to make it into the kingdom of heaven, for you to make it into eternal life, for you to make it to New Jerusalem, if that spirit is anywhere in you, you don't want that type of man, because you know that you need a man that's going to help lead you. You already know that. You already know that. And every man ain't fit to lead you. So that's not what I'm saying either. But you definitely don't want a man who's going to make you a god above him and above the Most High God. You don't want that. Go from there. Go to the book of 1 Kings. Let's go back to some history. 1 Kings chapter 11. And we can start at verse 1.
The book of 1 Kings, chapter 11, verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women.
See? That'd be the problem. You don't want that godly woman. You want a strange woman. See, and it's really going to be talking about the heathen in this particular time, because Israel was standing as a kingdom of God. But strange women can come in the form of Israelite women as well. Go ahead and read.
Together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites.
So Solomon, and we've heard a lot of great things about Solomon. Solomon was wise. He went out there and he researched, proved things. But with all of that, he had this thing for women. And he wasn't discriminating. He said, I'm going to get a little bit of every flavor. I don't just want chocolate and hazelnut and all the flavors of Israel. He said, I want some strawberry. Old folks know what strawberry is. You know that flavor. You want that Edomite flavor. He went and got him Edomite women, Moabite women, Ammonite women, Zidionite women, Zidonians, Hittites. Go ahead.
Of the nations concerning which the Most High said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them.
You shall not make them your wife. Don't do it. Don't have relations with them. Now, here's the thing. On the surface level, a lot of times we read things like this and we don't really think much of it. We don't think much of it. But one thing that you got to understand is the Most High, he lets you know that he's in tune with the spirit. He knows the spirit of the various different nations that were created. And he knows the practices. See, a lot of things that we don't understand because we've been raised in a police state and we're still technically children of captivity. We don't understand that in other countries they have culture. And in their cultures, they're specific as to what they teach to their children. So from a child on up, these women were being trained on how to deal with men. The Most High already knew exactly these nations, what they were capable of. That's why even earlier on, before things got all out of whack, the Most High specifically said, hey, Jacob, you guys can mess with them. You can mess with those women. There's still a process, but you can do this, this, and that, and you can take them. But these women over here, leave them alone. That's why a lot of brothers, man, their minds get blown away. They seek a professional career in entertainment as athletes. And everything that they missing, Esau already know what they need. He said, I got the perfect girl for you. She knows exactly how to support you. She won't complain. The things that you like every moment of the day, she'll do them. But it's a lot of other things that come along with that. right? He looks at us in our weakest state as a people, and he's not concerned with telling our women that they've been bamboozled, change your behavior. This is really what your foremothers were on, because he's too busy feeding you BET, Tyler Perry crap, right? Instead of us mending this right here, which it has to be mended, brothers say, all right, I got a quick fix for this. If I'm going to get the bag, I can't be dealing with this for the next 10, 20 years. I got to go with a solution that's ready right now because I got to get the bag right now. I got a short time because I'm going to need to get in something. And then them brothers, guess what? They fall for the okie doke. Ain't nothing changed. A lot of y'all don't understand. When you act according to this Bible, you saving a man's life. You saving a, no, let me take that back. You saving a man's soul. You saving a man's soul when you act according to this Bible and you hold him down according to this Bible. Because it's a lot of brothers, man, their whole souls is being sucked up. Literally. Go ahead, watch this, read. Verse 2. Give me another mic. The water.
Of the nations concerning which the Most High said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in to them, neither shall they come in unto you.
Go ahead.
For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love.
And he still was in love. That's the thing. The Bible, you got to be careful because all you've been taught all your life is in love. I know you love me, but are you in love with me? Say you're in love. Solomon, he fell for the okie doke. He was in love. That in love thing could be a dangerous thing. Go ahead.
And he had 700 wives.
Ooh, that's a whole lot of women to please. Read.
Princesses and 300 concubines.
Ooh, that's a whole lot of women. It's basic math. 700 plus 300 is what? 1,000 women. You're not spending enough time with me. You only got what? According to the Gregorian calendar, 365 days. The Most High's calendar is a little bit different, but about 360 days in your average year, with a leap year every couple of years, that extra month. But just on average, let's say 360 days. Well, 360 days is not going to be enough for 1,000 women. So people can't even spend a whole day. And then I'm pretty sure he probably had his favorites. You telling me he got somebody that he got, and he ain't, I only got 20 minutes to spend with you. So somebody's going to get slighted. He might spend a week with this one, and all of them got slighted. You ain't seen your husband in how long? Couple of years. He could do it, so he said, why not? Most High talked about that too, because see, so many people be like, see, Solomon got 1,000 wives. Yeah. The Most High said, be careful about multiplying wives into yourself, bro. It's okay, you can have more than one wife, but you're still going to be held accountable because there are things that you need to do in regards to those women. Solomon lost sight of all of those things. Go ahead, watch this.
And his wives turned away his heart.
His what?
His heart.
His wives turned away what?
His heart.
His wives turned away his heart, meaning his mind. From what?
For it came to pass, when Solomon was old, that his wives turned away his heart after other gods.
He started partaking in serving other gods. Some of y'all be like, how you do that? I'll never do that. I know some folks right now that's supposed to be Israelites, and all of a sudden they dibbling and dabbling with the holidays again. Can I get an amen? Don't, because you think, these women were like, it's our family tradition, Solomon, come on. You got so much going on. I don't even get to see you like I want to see you. At least you can do this for me, Solomon. Oh, man, all right. The Most High like, okay, that's how we rolling now. And you gotta understand, I'm not gonna get graphic, but you gotta understand, it wasn't just all words. Solomon taking 1,000 women, I'm assuming at least a reasonable portion of those women must have been stunning. And I'm pretty sure they didn't do just all talking with their words, they probably talked with their bodies as well. So Solomon still being a man, because you have to be smart, wise as a man, and not be a dummy and think like, oh, just right now I feel so strong in the spirit, there's nothing that can penetrate. She come out with her birthday suit on. Come on now. When you got your mind on these women, it can definitely take you away from other things you'd like to have your mind on. It'll definitely take you away from handling certain business that you know you should be handling. And when you got that, what he had, all these different women, and they all got requests, Solomon was in trouble. Go ahead.
And his heart was not perfect with the Most High, his power, as was the heart of David his father.
Because David had, he didn't have as many as Solomon, but David had women. But David, we saw how David was getting down. Remember Micah? Man, David was like, look, if it's a problem, look, I could do X, Y, and Z. I'll really show you. David wasn't for the foolishness, but Solomon was like, oh, you know, baby, don't trip. Well, Solomon, I just don't know if I could do this. Come on. All right, go ahead. You want what? All right. You good? All right, she good. God, man. Go ahead.
For Solomon went after Ashtaroth, the goddess
after
of the...
who?
Ashtaroth, the goddess
the
of...
what?
Ashtaroth. The goddess of the Zidonians.
Wait, hold on. I'm stuck on that. The god or goddess?
Goddess.
How in the world Solomon, the son of David, a lot of this that we read, the wisdom that is brought out through the books that he wrote, how in the world did he not only start serving another god, but of all things, he decides that he's going to serve a goddess? So you got to connect the pieces of the puzzle together. A lot of times we read this stuff and we read straight through it. Brothers go and get all types of, oh yeah, because this and that and this and that, and they think they're so academic. The most academic people are the ones that figure out why we behave the way we behave. And they sit there and they put the pieces of the puzzle together to figure out, how did I get from here to here? What are the events and the influences that caused me to be in a totally different space, in a totally different mindset, with totally different behaviors by the time I'm over here, when I remember where I was when I was here? How in the world did Solomon get from there to there? He's serving a goddess. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor. But the way of the wicked seduceth them. Don't underestimate being seduced. I don't care how intelligent you think you are. Go ahead.
For Solomon went after Ashtaroth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites.
Go ahead.
And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Most High, and went not fully after the Most High.
Now, this is the cold part right here, because the Bible is specific. It didn't say he didn't go after the Most High. It said he went not fully after the Most High, which means what? He was still going through the motions, still keeping Sabbaths, still rocking them fringes, still had his beard, but behind closed doors, You know what I'm saying? He was, got a little something, extra, wearing his little, you know. That's the thing. A lot of us, we sit up here and we still think we in the truth, and you the furthest thing from the truth. You 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He said, I'd rather you be hot or cold, because if you lukewarm, I'll spew you out of my mouth. I ain't got no respect. You a double agent. You trying to play both sides of the fence. I can't mess with you. Go ahead.
As did David his father. Then did Solomon build an high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon.
Go ahead.
And likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrifice unto their gods.
That's the thing. You do it for one, now you got to do it for all of them. It's just like when you got kids. You know how it is. You get it for one kid,
Right.
then you got to get it for all of the rest. They're going to be like, well, what about me? You gave them some extra hot Cheetos. You gave them a large thing ice cream and I only got this small. What about me? Women was like, you gave her what? Well, what about me? Solomon, all of y'all, you get just whatever y'all want. I'm the richest man, to go ahead and run it for him. Go ahead.
And the Most High was angry with Solomon, because his heart was turned from the Most High power of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice.
Most High said, I dealt with you on a different level. I appeared to you twice. There's people in their whole life I ain't never appeared to. All these people faking the funk, talk about, they be talking to. He said, I actually came to you twice, Solomon. And you still had the nerve to do this to me? All right, go ahead.
And had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods, but he kept not that which the Most High commanded.
He tell the Most High, I'm going to get it right, I'm going to repent. And he never did. Go ahead.
Wherefore the Most High said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes, which I have commanded thee, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee, and will give it to thy servant.
You see that? Literally, the kingdom of Israel split into a northern and southern kingdom, and we went through all of the things we went through because of this right here. Because a lot of people be just like Solomon, but you don't really understand what Solomon did. Go ahead, 12.
Notwithstanding in thy days, I will not do it for David thy father's sake, but I will rend it out of the hand of thy son.
And this is the coldest part right here, because they tell you in the book of Exodus and a couple of other places. What he did was he created a generational curse. Most High said, I'm not going to even split it in your time. I'm going to split it in your son's time. Your behaviors cause your kids to struggle in their relationships. Them seeing their father as a poodle makes it even more difficult for them to realize that the lion is within them. Because they done seen their daddy be a poodle all their life. All they know is mama being the head, mama wearing the pants. Solomon was a poodle. He didn't start off as a poodle. I have the utmost respect for him according to this word, but the Bible is letting us know by definition of what a poodle is. He became a poodle. And look how many people had to pay for that. Our relationships are the building blocks of our nation. How many people, if you really stop and think, how many people are paying now or are going to pay in the future for how you're dealing in your relationship? Or do you even care? Lamentations chapter 4. In verse 1.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 1. How is the gold become dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street.
How many exclamation points or marks do you see in the scripture? This must be, anytime you see an exclamation mark, that means it's a big deal, right? Somebody's yelling it. They want to make sure that somebody understands that this is an important point that's being made, or an important question, or whatever the case may be. Well, not a question, but you know, get what I'm saying. So in his statement, thank you, Thawada, how has the gold become dim? Because if you wear like real gold doesn't rust. You can wear it as often as you want. It may get a little bit like not as, but you can just shine it back up and it's back. That's what gold does, right? But he was like, this gold right here, this is the best of the best gold. How in the world all of a sudden is this gold not being looked at as gold? It's not being looked at as a precious metal. It's not being looked at as something that has value. Then he even calls us the stones, because a lot of us, we like diamonds and we like all types of other types of stones. A lot of us love cubic zirconium better than anything else, because that's the most that we own. And we take pride in that cubic zirconium. So even more so, he said these are actual valuable stones. He said, and they just being poured out in the corners of the street like they ain't nothing, like they some rocks. Go ahead.
The precious sons of Zion.
And that's who we talking about, the precious sons of Zion, who are supposed to be lions, but is acting like poodles. Read.
Comparable to fine gold.
Uh-huh.
How are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the work of the hands of the potter?
He said they comparable to fine gold, but they being treated like they some plastic, like they some clay. Read.
Even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones.
Uh-huh.
The daughter of my people has become cruel.
Uh-huh.
Like the ostriches in the wilderness.
A lot of our women, throughout all of the things that we've been through and throughout all of the programming that we've been through, have taken on a totally different spirit than what the Most High would have you to have. And a totally different spirit than what your foremothers actually had. All right? And you've become negligent. A lot of our women have become very negligent in regards to their position as a wife and their place as a mother. Go ahead.
The tongue of the sucking child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth for thirst.
Because they're not giving the children the things that the children need to thrive. And especially spiritually. Read.
Children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them.
Go ahead.
They that did feed delicately are desolate in the streets.
Uh-huh.
They that were brought up in a scarlet embrace dunghills.
Those that were brought up in scarlet, in fine linen. Scarlet was, like a red that was like a royal color. They embraced dunghills. You know what a dunghill is, right? It's a pile of boo-boo. Well, kids they laugh when you say boo-boo. We embrace boo-boo. I'm not going to say the other word. Right? Said our women, once upon a time, they knew who they were and they held themselves to a certain standard. And now they don't hold themselves to those standards at all anymore. Go ahead.
For the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom.
So you know what happened to Sodom, right? Wow. Sodom got destroyed in a day. He said, we're worse because you're getting a slow destruction. You're being destroyed over time. And he's telling us how we're being destroyed. A lot of it has to do with the spirit of a lot of our women who are not acting godly, who make it impossible for a man to have peace of mind and build in the way he needs to build in order to gain salvation. Go ahead.
That was overthrown as in a moment, and no hand stayed on her.
No hand stayed on Sodom, but it's a hand that's still on us. We still got our oppressor's hand on us. He said, that's worse. Whole lot worse. Sodom, they got it right there. It was over. This modern day Sodom, this modern day Egypt, this modern day Babylon, he said, y'all been going through it for how long now? It's been a long time. So long our brothers up in here giving up the ghost. I knew it'd be hot up in here, some of y'all. Go from there. Go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31. Y'all might want to wake up for this, though. Jeremiah 31. I need 21 and 22. Watch this.
Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 21. Set thee up thy waymarks, make thee high heaps, Set thy heart toward the highway, even the way which thou wentest. Turn again, O Virgin of Israel.
Oh, go ahead.
Turn again to these cities.
So what is he saying right here? He's saying, look, you on the wrong path, turn back and get on the right path. That's what he's saying. Now watch this, read.
How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter?
He said, how long are you going to go about, thou backsliding daughter? Read.
For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth.
What did he create in the earth?
A new thing in the earth.
What is the new thing?
A woman shall compass a man.
A woman shall compass a man. That word compass means a woman shall change the course and the function of a man. Has that happened? A woman shall change the path and the function of a man. Your modern day man, what does he look like in a relationship? He look like a poodle and he look like a trophy. Got the man trying to look cute. Got on his skinnies. Booty faced it. Come on. He want to show off his shape. He got a thin waist and a patootie. Some of them want to show off their feet. Extra shine and gloss on the nails. And they thong sandals. I'm just saying what I see. That's all. I'm just a messenger. Arching their eyebrows. A woman shall change the course and the function of a man. When we don't have men functioning the way that they're supposed to function in a relationship within our community, it's a problem. And then we're trying to figure out why it's taking so long to get back. It's because people got to understand that we were given duties. We were given a certain course of action, a certain function. There's a certain way that we're supposed to be as men. And when we're not operating accordingly, it causes problems and dysfunction. Go to the book of Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12. Yeah, Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12.
Verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and a woman rule over them.
And women rule over them. And all these TV shows and things of that nature, what you see? You see women ruling. You see all these shows about Big Mama, she the matriarch. It's all of these women in authoritative positions. And can't nobody figure nothing out if they don't rely on Big Mama or Mama, whoever the case may be. And that's being perpetuated. That's being driven into the minds of our people. How many Big Mamas have you seen with white folks in their shows and their movies? How many times you seen Big Mama there? How many times do you see on a so-called white movie and white show where they can't do it without some woman? The men are just incompetent. Edomites, you don't see that, but with Israelite shows, you see that all throughout. You probably even see it on Telemundo. The men can't seem to get it right. In and out of jail. Can't explain ourselves. Can't articulate what it is that we feel or what it is that we're going through. We're broken. Because they also perpetuate this because they'll give a woman of our nation a job a lot faster than they will a man. Then they'll play with you with the statistics and say, oh, men make way more money than women do. No, that's of the other nations, not amongst so-called blacks and Hispanics and Israelites. That's not happening amongst us. I guarantee you take a survey throughout Israel and you're going to find out it's a whole lot more of our women that have better job opportunities and are making money and are able to get those jobs a lot easier than men. I've experienced this myself. I think I'm fairly well spoken. And I think I've been fairly well spoken for quite some time now. I can speak a little Ebonics when I need to, right? I could code switch. But I think I know how to handle myself in a quote-unquote professional environment. But because of the way I look, a lot of them opportunities I didn't get. Took me a whole lot longer to get looked at to potentially move up than it did a lot of women. And then we laugh about it, but even sometimes, like, you got a certain look. You know what I'm saying? It's a certain look that they like. Like, this can be the face of our company. And if you kind of look like this, then this ain't quite what they're looking for. I'm just telling the truth. All of this is set up to destroy us as a people. Literally. They make it that much more difficult for us because our things are not in order. Everything's out of course. The women are the ones that are ruling over the men. Read, finish that off.
O my people, I'll start. And women rule over them, O my people. They which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy past.
The way of thy past, meaning the way that your forefathers and your heavenly Father set for it to be from the beginning, the way in which we've always had success. So as much as we, bow down to our enemies and our enemies said, okay, now this is the way it's going to go. And then they took a couple of our people and exalted them and made them feel like they was actually somebody. Now these are your leaders. Nah, them ain't my leaders. Jesse Jackson and slick back Al Sharpton, them ain't my leaders. Them ain't my leaders. Go from there. Go to you had something you had to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say just on the movie level that he was talking about, as far as TV shows, they put up a homosexual man to lead our women into more mischief, which was Tyler Perry. Had all the women praising him and worshiping him. All the shows he was doing was to pray, to glorify the woman, and not just a woman, a homosexual, transsexual woman at that, and down the man. What show did he ever do that was good for men, or good for the woman to follow her man? But he got rich off all the bootleg stuff that he was teaching us, right? And the people loved it.
And now BET following behind that same model. I can't even stomach them shows. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I know some of y'all probably feel well, am I sinning if I watch it? Well, it's just entertainment. I'm not saying you sinning, but I'm going to tell you this. You better remember that scripture. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but what? Yeah, that wasn't a whole lot of power in that. Here's the thing, man. It'd be a bunch of foolishness happening on BET, man. I can't even stomach that mess. Be careful. Be careful. And I don't have all of the time that I would like to do everything, so I'll probably end up doing a part 2 to this. There's quite a few things that I probably not going to discuss today. We'll see, because I do have something already lined up for next week. And I'll figure it out. But all praise be to the Most High. Let me get one more. Get Ecclesiastes chapter 25. Ecclesiastes 25, and let's get verse 16. 25 and 16.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, verse 16.
Yep.
I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than to keep house with a wicked woman.
Go ahead.
The wickedness of a woman changeth her face, and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth.
Go ahead.
Her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly.
You ever been in a situation you seen, it might have been you, and if it wasn't you, you've seen people in this situation, and a brother just ain't even got no words. All he can just do is just, man. Man, you ever seen that? Yeah. Sometimes it be that bad. It be that bad. So one thing that we got to do, what I realized is that we really got to make sure that we don't lose sight of what's most important. The most important thing is submission for all of us. Full submission to what the Heavenly Father would have things to be. If we fully submit to those things, then we'll be able to do what's pleasing unto Him and what's going to cause us to be successful. All right? If we do not, and we'll finish this on a part 2, but this is the last thing that I want to say. If we choose not to, we may think that we're in a good place because maybe we're comfortable. Maybe we see some success for the moment, but that success will not last. That's the thing that gets a lot of people, because people see that they're successful for the moment. Things seem to be working out at this very moment.
Tell the truth, big boss.
They seem to have some peace momentarily, but that does not mean you're going to have peace in the long haul or you're going to have success long term. All right? Keep that in mind, please. And all praise be to the Heavenly Father. So we will be doing a part 2. All praise be to the Most High of that. I'm pretty sure I'll hear from some of y'all and maybe some points y'all want me to get to that you may think that I didn't touch on. But you know, every class is not going to be a class that you whooping and hooping and hollering for, because some of these things are going to cut a little bit. But if we're going to make it back, if we're going to get up out of here, you know, we're going to have to examine ourselves and change some things and get some things right. So all praise be to the Heavenly Father. Where you at, Bosh? Bezash. What's good with it, Ock?